Hi, Paul Sakis, Good News Planet. I'm very excited about this. Hi, Chantel Krebs. Hi, how are you?
Good morning.
Well, Miss America organization celebrates 100 years in Mystic. Come on out on Mystic and Labor Day to help us celebrate at the iconic Show Us Your Shoes parade. All right.
Yes.
I love shoes. I love things. We're going to talk about a lot of good stuff. And you guys do so much good service. You're a good, I'm going to even say corporate citizen of the world. The Children's Miracle Network, hospitals, you have scholarships. Thank you for doing it. You're an institution of good. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing and what the organization is doing, and how can people get involved?
Sure. Well, thank you for this opportunity, Paul, to talk about Miss America organization. It's one of the most recognized household brands in America. When you say the word Miss America, it's kind of like Coca-Cola, a recognized brand who's really been at the center of national trends and social movements for 100 years. And this year is a special year because we are celebrating our 100th anniversary. The day she was born was September 8th, 1921. And the positive impact that we have been making as an organization, yes, we are a nonprofit. So to clarify, as the nonprofit organization, a 501c4, we are one of the largest scholarship providers for women in the country. Wow. And just to give you some historical perspective, and this is so fun to share, Paul, is that in 1921 is when Miss America was born, so to speak. And ever since then, she's been making waves across the country in what she's been doing and all the candidates that compete. For example, in 1926, we had Norma Smallwood crowned Miss America. She was our first Native American Heritage Miss America. Let's go on to 1942, where our Miss America was one of the individuals that raised the most war bonds during the war. She raised $2.5 million for the war bond tour. Look at what she contributed to society, supporting our military and our troops. Moving on to 1945 was a very significant year for the Miss America organization because that year was the year that we first awarded our scholarship. We awarded $5,000 in 1945, which was unheard of to do that large of dollar amount of scholarship. Now let's compare today in 2021, where we award over $5 million in scholarships a year. Yes, I'll repeat that, $5 million in scholarships a year for women to achieve their career and educational paths. I always love talking about, Miss America, because we go on in 1955, a first time live broadcast. Everybody talks about, these reality TV shows when we were really the first talent show on TV in 1955 in front of a live broadcast, which we were performing our talents. That is one of the areas that Miss America organization differentiates itself from others, is that we have a talent competition. And so we were really the first talent show, so to speak, on TV, where millions of viewers tuned in to watch her every year, and the candidates compete every year in the talent phase. And that's one of those judging criteria that we'll talk about a bit more. Going into the 60s and 1968, it was a very tumultuous year, of course. That year, the women's movement and the concern as far as, is Miss America relevant? And that year they tried throwing stink bombs onto the runway, and yet we still crowned in 1968 a Miss America. And then in 73, it just goes on to show how relevant we are, where our Miss America said she was actually competing in the program because she wanted to pay for law school. So here's Rebecca King, who was crowned our Miss America in 1973, that said the only reason she's competing is for the scholarship dollars to be able to go to law school. I just talked to Rebecca King in Colorado. She's retiring this year from her attorney and her law practice after how many years? And thanks to the Miss America organization that she was launched into her career she wanted to. You can fast forward into the 1980s and 90s, and the 90s was a pivotal year for Miss America as well. That's when we started talking about our platform statements or our social impact initiatives. Now, today, our candidates across the country, thousands of them, almost 5,000 or 6,000 candidates compete a year. They have social initiatives that they advocate for, that they educate individuals in society on issues, whether it be breast cancer awareness, smoking cessation, human trafficking, dyslexia. Those are all areas that they advocate and educate, and they spend thousands of hours in their community volunteering and actually raising money for these types of organizations and associations that they advocate for. That was debuted in the 90s. So we had that roll out, and you hear about causes. Every brand in America, organizations getting behind causes. Let me tell you, the Miss America was one of those first organizations to actually have causes to get behind. We partnered in the early 2000s with the Children's Miracle Network. And in that cause, we raised over $20 million for the Children's Miracle Network over the years. And that's a perfect example of the significant impact that the lives that we make in our communities from these candidates competing. So Paul, I'd love to share, of course, even today, look at our Miss America. Let's dispel the misconception. They think it's a one-day a year, you see it on TV, and it's a beauty competition or a beauty pageant. We don't call it pageant anymore because, quite frankly, it's not. It's a competition. They compete for a job. They're candidates for a job. It's a full-time job, and they must have a business plan. They must have a strategy, and what are they going to do to advocate for that year? And then what are the measurables going to be? So this is a job that they're competing for. And Paul, we're so proud of our current Miss America, who of course is Camille Schreier. She is a current student of Doctorate of Pharmacist program right now. So a pharmacy student, a biochemist, an advocate against opioid awareness. That is the title. That is the resumes that these young ladies bring to the table.
Oh boy, it's all, you didn't say a bad word. Everything is beautiful and very positive. I've got goose pimples during this entire time because I love Miss America. I love the fact of an opportunity for young women or to get together with other women, make new friends. I love the opportunity for inspiration, and it's all built around things that are, I think, the heart of life, which are well-mannered, having an ability for sharing your skills and talents with the world. It's inspirational, and I think for young women, and if there was Mr. America, I would be saying the same words, because
one of those things that Paul, we're so proud about is like, how can you become a candidate? And you just talk about how inspiring is it, and how can we encourage other young ladies to get involved? Because quite frankly, we know that the debt load that students carry, the majority of it are women or ladies are carrying the debt load for educational dollars. So when you look at how can we help them, the Miss America program is something where a young lady can gain skills on interviewing. She can learn how to be poised on stage, but at the same time, she's earning money or scholarship dollars to help her with her college education costs. And that's our priority. And like you said, what is inspirational? When they walk away from this program, if they've won a local title or a state title or whatever it is, or if they haven't, they walk away with some scholarships earned. They walk away with skills that help them in the classroom, in the boardroom, in their future careers. It helps them with interviewing skills, that they are prepared for job interviews that typically rise them to the top of job interviews because of those skills that they've learned. They learn how to be advocates. They learn how to speak in the public or public speaking skills. These are all things, when you talk about the word inspirational, I'm advocating and encourage young ladies to seek out how to participate. We have two divisions that they compete in. They can compete in our Miss America's Outstanding Teen program, which is our for 13 to 18-year-olds. And then of course the Miss America organization, which is for 18 to 26-year-olds. And that is something that is important for our listening audience to know, is that these are ages that can compete at a local level within their state and then go on to a state level and earn dollars while competing, and the skills that they're learning with it.
Chantel, tell me something about you and how are you involved? Because I'm ready to hire you. No, I mean, you're such a great and exciting person and a believer in what you're involved in your life. So were you a Miss America?
I was not a Miss America. I was very fortunate and blessed to be a part of the Miss America organization. I was Miss South Dakota in 1997, and I can personally relate to those skill sets that I'm talking about, is that it helps you develop those skill sets that have helped me in the career path. And I'm very proud to be the board chair of the Miss America organization and the current CEO of the Miss America organization. And those skill sets help build that, like I said, whether it be in the classroom or the boardroom. That's what we're preparing young women. And I'll share our mission statement, Paul, because I think this mission statement is very interesting. It's preparing great women for the world and the world for great women.
I like
Sharing the world for great women. And then the world, we're saying to the world, here are these young ladies that have competed. They're ready to take on leadership roles. They're the ones that are involved in the communities. And these are the young ladies that you want to hire that have been a part of our program, because they do set themselves apart. They rise to the top. They've learned skills that really help them launch them into their careers. And that's what the beauty of the Miss America organization is that people don't realize it's not a beauty pageant. In fact, to clarify, we do not at all judge on the physical appearance of our candidates that compete. In nowhere in the judging criteria does it say to judge on the physical appearance. It has been taken away completely and removed, because we want to look at that inner beauty. What does that deep down, what are they made of? What are their passions, their heart? What can they tell and what can they do to make a difference in their communities? And these young ladies, like I said, they donate thousands of hours across the country volunteering and making differences in things that they believe in, whether it be causes, like I said, dyslexia, cancer awareness, human trafficking, anything that you hear of that's important for a cause, they're typically behind it.
Oh, I love it. I will also say, I'll just say, I've been a lucky man. I've had wonderful women in my life, from mothers to grandmothers and wives. Every aspect I've been a lucky guy. So as women get confidence and do better in their life, and it's just they only make everybody else make the men in their lives a more rewarding life and probably a better life. I know probably about it. There's nothing like what they said is every great man is a great woman, and vice versa, whatever. But we're all in this together, right? I mean, that's the reality of life. So when a woman does more, for example, my mother had a master's degree in the 20s. Okay, she was a librarian. She was, you want to put quotes, she was a hardworking woman. A women's liberator, call it whatever you want. She was a working, she did her thing, and thusly there was never any kind of question mark about anything. We all did our thing, and so I think but to have the opportunity, see, that's the best part of what the 100 years represents for me. That you stayed on course. You know how important that opportunity is. Look at all the money, look at all the happiness you have brought to thousands and thousands of young and more mature women who will keep that for the rest of their life.
It will. And in closing, Paul, what I'd like to talk about before we wrap up today is our 100th anniversary celebration. So let's talk about that. We have quite a celebration going on up in the Mystic, Connecticut area, Mohegan Sun. So on Labor Day, Monday, September 6th, we're celebrating with our iconic Show Us Your Shoes parade, a fun tradition where the candidates get to have elaborate costumes in the parade and elaborate shoes decorated, and then they show off the shoe in the parade. And that is a beginning of the weekend of celebrations on September 6th, Labor Day, in Mystic, Connecticut. Go to thinkmystic.com. You'll see, of course, all the information about it, or missamerica.org on our website. You'll see that information. Then we have a gala celebration on the 7th, Tuesday, September 7th, at our fabulous new home and proud sponsor and partner at Mohegan Sun Resorts in Connecticut. And then on the 8th is the actual Tuesday, September 8th, the reading of the executive proclamation proclaiming Miss America Day, which is again 100 years ago on September 8th, where she all began. And I want to close then, and last but not least, is go to our website, go to missamerica.org and check out the information on the 100th anniversary. Look at some of the history and the photos, and also then go to and follow us on Facebook and Instagram, because we'll be seeing and showing off the historical women that have made significant impacts in this program. And then we have to mark your calendars, because in December is when the live broadcast will be of the Miss America competition. So make sure to watch in. We'll be making the announcement soon as far as the time and date. Location is, of course, Mohegan Sun, our proud sponsor and new home in Mystic Country in Connecticut. So we're very proud of Mohegan Sun to be there. And that's going to be in December. So that's what I want you to tune in. Go to our website.
Let me ask one last question also, because we're very involved with world peace. In fact, I invite your organization to be at an event. We do the International Day of Peace as declared by the UN. 193 countries have agreed to a day of peace since 1984, actually. And so we've been doing concerts since 2002 at Times Square. I just put a hold on that one, and we're going to do an event at a different location here. And I would like a representative, yourself, or to speak about, because you are peace in peace. And I think it's very interesting also that a lot of times people wonder, and almost, I don't know whether it's they compare or they say that this is almost part of your kind of a Miss America contest, and they asking a contestant, what's important to you, and they say world peace, right?
No,
Peace. Not at yours.
A little bit more detailed than that. They talk about issues that impact America.
So I understand.
And they get into a little bit more detail.
I understand it, but there is also that I'm saying that in a very, very, very positive way. Yeah. That's actually even an opportunity to talk about issues, because those issues are what make peace, no doubt about it. So I'd like to ask you, what does peace mean to you?
Oh, peace means to me is every day just finding some place or some time in your heart that you can find tranquility, a moment to reflect on a day, whether it be the day that you have ahead of you or what has been done that day. And just reflecting, and for me, it's with God and peace with God, and saying, you know what, thankful for what I have around me and what I've been given, but also thankful for those opportunities and sometimes those challenges, because you always learn from those challenges.
Chantal, thank you very much. I appreciate the time.
Yes, have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Thank you.